Hey everyone, welcome to our Cleanse and Restore webinar today. I am super excited to be able to spend some time with you to help you understand more about the topic of cleansing and renewing our bodies from the inside out. So my name is Rachel Piscini. I am a Platinum Wellness Advocate with doTERRA, and I have been using and loving the way that these products have totally transformed our family's life for the past 3.5 years now. And I have been very blessed to help thousands of other people also discover those benefits for themselves and their families. So it's a really cool thing. But when I first got started, probably like you, I had no clue what I was doing. And I definitely did not know anything about cleansing. In fact, I probably had some preconceived notions about it, that it wasn't something that sounded very pleasant. And I didn't understand what it was all about, or why it was even necessary. But I was dealing with some pretty serious health issues of my own. And so I knew that my body needed kind of a reset button. So I decided to learn about doTERRA's cleansing program. And then that's when the magic happened. I understood what cleansing is and how it works for your body and how tremendously beneficial it can be, and that it doesn't have to be a scary thing either. And so when I realized how your health is truly manifested from the inside out, and when I saw such amazing results come from it, I just naturally wanted to share that with everyone that I knew. So it is truly a joy to be able to be here with you today, to help you learn and to discuss why you might want to consider cleansing and what it can do for you, and how to safely and effectively go about that so that you can tackle whatever may be going on with you, or even if it's just about living the very best life and feeling your very best that you can. So we'll dive right in, and I am going to share my screen here, hopefully, if it'll give me the controls. There we go. All right, guys. One moment. Okay. So, all right, you guys can all see that. Fantastic. All right, so as we mentioned, today we're going to learn about how to cleanse and restore our bodies so that they can be in tip-top shape from the inside out perspective, so that you can experience a new level of vibrancy and vitality and a zest for life again. At doTERRA, just to start with, we do teach a foundational philosophy that encourages healthy lifestyle choices and informed participation in healthcare services. And all of these things can have a really significant influence on your overall health, your physical and your mental and your emotional well-being. So we know that things like proper nutrition and exercise and rest and stress management, we know about those, right? They're fairly self-explanatory. But much less concern is generally shown for practices that also assist in minimizing toxic load. But that does not make it any less important, because the proper functioning of our vital organs and minimizing toxic load can influence our health just as much as any other of these controllable factors. So that's why today we're really focusing in more specifically on our fourth healthy lifestyle behavior, which is reducing that toxic load. So for our discussion today, we'll define a toxin as any substance that causes harm to the body. So toxic load refers to the accumulation of all the toxins affecting your body at any given time, and the burden that it places on those body systems and organs. The toxic load we carry can come from a lot of different sources. The three here, pollutants, pathogens, and oxidation, are the three most common categories of toxins. So looking at the first one, pollutants, those are chemical or synthetic substances that cause harm to our body. So we're commonly exposed to things like ingredients in processed foods, like artificial sweeteners, flavor enhancers, food dyes, automobile exhaust, cigarette smoke, solvents, cleaning products, plastics, pesticides, xenoestrogens, all of that. We are bombarded on a daily basis. So those would be considered pollutants. Pathogens, on the other hand, those are microbial agents like bacteria, funguses, virus that invade the body, and they are often known to cause infection, right, or disease. And then third, oxidation refers to the damage that's caused by free radicals that contribute to inflammatory effects within our bodies and can cause damage on a cellular level within us, particularly our cell DNA. And we're going to dive into those concepts a little more in depth as we go along. But although our body deals with toxins in a number of ways, but the three most vulnerable areas of exposure are our lungs, our GI or digestive tract, and our skin due to that more direct exposure that it has. So we can inhale toxins, right, through the air that we breathe. We can ingest toxins through the food that we eat, or we can absorb them transdermally when something is applied topically or contacts our skin. And each of these routes, our bodies are smart. We were created pretty awesomely. And so they do have built-in defense mechanisms that help us minimize that toxic exposure. But unhealthy lifestyle choices and environmental threats, those are often, and there are things that are beyond our control that can just overwhelm those natural built-in defenses. And those then can therefore lead us to compromised health. So what can we do to help manage or reduce our exposure? Well, ideally, we can avoid exposure in the first place, right? The famous classic saying is an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and that's very true. So there are a lot of things that we can do to take a preventive stance that are as simple as washing your hands, ideally with doTERRA's On Guard foaming hand soap. But one of my favorite ways we can start managing our environment is to diffuse essential oils into the air that we breathe. So whether we're at home or work or even in the car, diffusing essential oils is a wonderful proactive measure to help neutralize those airborne threats that may enter through our lungs. So these are just a few. I love lemon. It's super cleansing, really uplifting and purifying. On Guard is a great protective blend that's kind of the anti-funk oil. If there's funk floating around in the air that you don't want anybody to get, you just don't want to touch people. And then Breathe is great for helping open up the airways and promoting clear and easy breathing. And another thing to consider when avoiding toxic influences would be the consumer products that you choose for yourself and for your family. And this is an area, you guys, that I often see overlooked or severely discounted. And it is an enormous influencer of our health. Like, most people really underestimate how important this is, because most of the products that you'd purchase at a typical store, from your household cleaners to products in your shower and your bathroom medicine cabinet, are loaded with nasty chemicals and lots of other harmful ingredients that are most definitely going to contribute to your overall toxic load. You can absorb up to 60 to 80% of what's put on your skin in less than 30 seconds. I think I had read that women on average use at least 12 different products a day containing hundreds of different chemicals in them. So this is a really important thing to pay attention to. So instead, it's really important to choose products that use only safe and beneficial natural ingredients. And that's what doTERRA is all about. They have a phenomenal skincare and hair care and a whole line of On Guard products, and they just released a new line of amazing spa products like mud masks and shower gels and soaps and body lotions that we can use as a super smart way to avoid that exposure to toxic influencers. So definitely check that out if you have not already. I can personally say I use it all and I love it all. A second way we can reduce overall toxic load is by supporting our bodies, those natural defense functions that we talked about that are kind of built in. The number one way to do this is by using doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality Pack. This is a phenomenal nutritional foundation to support your body's overall well-being, including those natural defenses against toxic influencers. So if you haven't heard of Lifelong Vitality, or the Lifelong Vitality Pack as this is called, this trio is doTERRA's top selling product, and that is the case for many exceptional reasons. In fact, we have a complete webinar on our Powerfully Essential YouTube channel that I've created just to focus only on these three bottles, just on this Lifelong Vitality Pack. So because that's out there, and I highly encourage you to check that out, I won't go into all the details again here, because again, I could talk about these for an hour, and I have. But I would definitely recommend tuning into that video on our YouTube channel and getting more familiar with why it is so amazing and all that it can do for you. But in a very tiny nutshell, this trio of supplements is packed with all of the essential things that your body needs, including vitamins, nutrients, minerals, whole foods extracts, antioxidants, essential fatty acids, amino acids, digestive enzymes, and even essential oils that are more bioavailable than anything else out there. So that means it's easily absorbed by your body and it can actually utilize it and benefit from it instead of just excreting, it out. So if you're not currently using the Lifelong Vitality products, again, just talk to the person who invited you here today to watch this webinar and they can hook you up. I really recommend that this is the foundation. This truly is the cornerstone for wellness. I love to see people taking this trio of supplements for anywhere from 1 to 3 months before they really dive into a cleansing program, because we got to get you at an optimal level first before we start peeling back all the layers of the onion, if that makes sense. So for today's cleansing discussion, we're going to already assume that Lifelong Vitality is part of your healthy lifestyle foundation. And again, if you need to or want to learn more about this and why that's the case, definitely go back to the Powerfully Essential YouTube channel and check out that video on Lifelong Vitality, and you will understand why it's so cool. So a third way that we can reduce toxic load, right? So we're avoiding exposure, we're using healthy products, we're diffusing our oils, we're on the Lifelong Vitality pack. Then we go to that next level. And this is where we are supporting our body's elimination pathways. And so that's why we're going to spend the remainder of our focus on today, is talking about doTERRA's amazing products that help us with this and that really make toxic load reduction easy for everyone. So as a reference point for the rest of our discussion, let's define those elimination pathways. One of the primary pathways our body, or one of the primary ways our body manages toxins is through our liver, okay? So the liver is it's like the unsung hero of your organs. Like nobody writes poems about the liver or like love letters, but you should, because you would definitely be up a creek without a paddle if your liver is not working right. Your liver plays a vital role in your body. It acts as a filter and eliminator of toxic substances. So when toxins enter your liver, that's when they're broken down or conjugated into a form that can be excreted through your kidneys and your urinary tract or through your colon. So again, your livers, kidneys, colon, those are going to be your primary toxin elimination pathways. We can also eliminate through, we can also eliminate toxins through secondary pathways, and those are like our skin and our lungs, so we'll dive into that later too. But today we're going to talk about supporting healthy body function of both the primary and secondary pathways using the doTERRA products. So with that basic description, let's get ready to clean house. So we're going to use analogies today to make this super simple for everybody to understand. So in this case, our body is our home, okay? So just like it feels great to tidy and clean out our homes, we get to tidy up and clean out and reset and renew our bodies also. So our house cleaning metaphor is going to include 3 steps today. The first step is activating your elimination pathways, which would be like opening the doors and the windows in your home to let in the fresh air and sunshine and make sure all the mustiness and gunk can get out, right? The second step is resetting your elimination pathways. So this is like cleaning out the clutter in your home, okay? It's tidying, getting rid of all the stuff you don't need or that might even be causing you harm. Is renewing your elimination pathways. So this is like, okay, you've tidied everything up. This is you're getting what's left in your house and very organized and efficient. So our first, nice, right? Our first step is elimination pathways as your gastrointestinal, right? Your GI tract. Since our GI pathway deals with digesting and getting rid of food, this is a very fitting image, right? This is like cleaning out our fridge and our pantry. And some of us may have this kind of funk going on in our bodies, but not for long, because the main function of our GI tract is to metabolize the food we eat and excrete waste products. It also plays a major role in absorption. But unfortunately, as we know, for many people, this system tends to experience some less than optimal functioning. So our body has to be able to distinguish usable substances from harmful toxins. And to accomplish that differentiation, our GI tract serves as that selective barrier that strictly regulates absorption and prevents toxins from entering the bloodstream and lymph systems. One way this function is reduced is when our immune system isn't working optimally. So, because our intestines are where so much foreign material enters our body, did you know that 70% of your immune function is centered there in your GI tract to control the entry of potentially harmful things? So, even before the immune system gets involved, though, we have the stomach, right? So starting at the stomach, we have a very acidic stomach, and that gives us that built-in protection mechanism to kind of help that first scrub of getting rid of any potentially harmful pathogens that we may eat or ingest. Another reason the immune system must be so involved in digestion is because there's so much surface area to cover. You could stretch out your intestines and you'd have a tennis court. I mean, it is just absolutely fascinating, our bodies and how they're designed and what they can do. So sometimes what happens, we want to love, right? We want to love our GI tract, but what happens is when food and nutrients are absorbed, they pass through the walls of our digestive system and they enter directly into our bloodstream. And that's good because then it will, systematically deliver those nutrients through our body. So it's important for our intestinal walls to maintain both efficient yet selective absorption to be able to take in the nutrients it needs for our health, but also prevent the toxins from entering our body. So the walls of our intestines are made up of specialized epithelial cells that serve as the selective barrier that will only allow certain substances to pass into circulation. And then covering the walls of the intestines are millions of these tiny hair-like structures called villi that extend into the intestinal tube. And then still smaller than that are microvilli that cover the villi. So combined, these three structures are going to dramatically increase the surface area available for absorption and give our intestines that extraordinarily efficient yet highly selective absorption capacity, right? So that is why we want to love our digestive system, right? So an important product with significant benefits to the gastrointestinal tract is the TerraZyme digestive enzyme complex. So what enzymes are there special substances that help kick off biochemical reactions in our body, and they are crucial players in the processes of metabolism and detoxification. So the TerraZyme digestive enzyme is a product that gives us a very unique and complete blend of active whole food-based enzymes that we find are often deficient in our diet from cooked or processed foods. So it's going to help aid in that digestion and support the overall health of your gastrointestinal tract. So you probably might be thinking, well, why? Why do we need a digestive enzyme? Well, so fresh, raw, vine-ripened foods naturally contain these digestive enzymes. However, when food is cooked, when it's processed, things like pasteurization, sterilization, radiation, and the preservations of our modern food supply not only remove those food enzymes, but they can just destroy them and render them inactive or alter their structure so much that they become virtually useless to our bodies. So because of the way our modern diets often are and the nature of the nutritional content of our modern food, even if we do try to eat that rainbow every day, we may not be getting that proper enzyme capacity to make digestion and absorption of these foods really, really easy. So we can reduce that internal demand for digestive enzyme production in our body by increasing the amount of, first and foremost, fresh raw foods in our diet, which is a good goal, but not always available, right, in our modern life. So when we use this whole food supplement, it gives us those plant-based enzymes in a very convenient way so that we can guarantee that we have sufficient enzymes to promote digestive health and optimal nutrient absorption and food tolerance. So especially if you're one that has issues with any kind of food tolerance, this is going to be absolutely critical for you. And you can see what enzymes are here and the functions that they play in our body to help break down certain components in our food so that we, are able to just effortlessly derive all the good stuff out of what we eat without our body having to work so hard at its digestive processes. One of the things I love to do with TerraZyme, if you break open a capsule of this and you sprinkle it into oatmeal or pudding, and just stir it up, it will actually liquefy fairly quickly. So if you imagine that that's kind of what it's doing to that food that you put in your body, it's almost pureeing your foods for you. So it makes them easier for your body to digest and absorb properly. So this is a product I truly believe everybody needs and can benefit from, just like the Lifelong Vitality. It's a wonderful addition to your daily routine. And again, it's especially helpful if you know you have some compromised GI health or you have digestive challenges with certain foods. It is a must-have. So let's also talk a little bit more about the digestive system. So it's also home to trillions of bacteria, right? Because of that immune function that it provides. And this is collectively called the microflora. So the majority of these bacteria reside in the large intestine, but there are also some found throughout the rest of the digestive tract. And so intestinal microflora are friendly bacteria with a known physiologic benefit. These are bacteria that assist us in digestion. They prevent the growth of harmful microbes. They break down indigestible substances, and they participate in that immune system messaging. So to maintain, our health, it's really crucial, right, that the gastrointestinal tract be adequately populated with many, many friendly strains of bacteria. But unfortunately, this is another area where many people are struggling with compromised GI health because there are just several common lifestyle factors in our society that can threaten the integrity of those healthy bacterial colonies. So those can be things like physical stressors, exposure to those chemicals and toxins, unhealthy diet, travelers exposure, exposure, well, that sometimes happens too, and antibiotics. So all of these things they're going to damage that friendly microflora or cause overgrowth of the harmful strains that we don't want. So it's important to avoid or limit exposure to these threats to maintain our gut health. Otherwise, it can lead to many undesirable health consequences. So these are just a few of the indicators that you may have compromised gut health. So things like digestive discomfort, having those food sensitivities, if you're just totally lacking energy most of the time, you're just all over the place, mood imbalance, or you're always sick, you're just constantly sick and have an underactive immune system. Those are really good chances that we really need to work on strengthening your gut health. So thankfully, cleansing is a way that we can naturally restore or maintain that healthy microflora population by just simply changing the terrain. So this is doTERRA's line of supporting GI health supplements, starting with GX Assist there on the left. This is going to help remove those harmful substances or strains from our digestive system. And then you have PB Assist on the right, and that's going to help reestablish that healthy microflora colonization that's going to improve both our short-term and our long-term gut health. So let's take a look at how the two of these work. So this is going to be, we activated right with our Lifelong Vitality, with our TerraZyme digestive enzyme. So now we're moving on to that reset phase, kind of the tidying and the getting the junk out. This is going to be more like yanking the weeds. So GX Assist is the product that gets rid of the pesky stuff that wants to, overtake all the good stuff out of our digestive system. And it does that through a proprietary blend of caprylic acid and 6 essential oils. Caprylic acid is a unique 8-carbon fatty acid that has clinically demonstrated detoxification properties. It's derived from coconut oil. And because of its lipophilic or fat-soluble structure, it's able to easily penetrate our cell membranes so that it can kind of get in and get at those hostile organisms in our gut to help purify and cleanse our digestive system. And then it also contains 195 milligrams of essential oils, including oregano, melaleuca, lemon, lemongrass, peppermint, and thyme. And the chemistry of all of those oils includes a variety of phenol, alcohol, and aldehyde type constituents that are also known. specifically for their detoxification properties. So this is the products that helps us get all the bad bacteria overgrowth out. But then, of course, we need to put the good back in and plant new grass, right? So we do that with PB Assist. And this is a blend of both pre and probiotics. So now many people are familiar with probiotics. They are living bacteria that reside in our gastrointestinal tract, and they are known to provide all kinds of wonderful health benefits that we enjoy. But prebiotics is kind of a foreign term to some. So we're going to break it down here so you understand that this is way more than a standard probiotic. So these are the cool looking PB Assist capsules, and you can see they are pretty funky in a super awesome way. So I love this because it's a great visual representation of what makes these truly better than any conventional probiotic that you can find on the market. So prebiotics are indigestible substances like fiber or oligosaccharides that are essentially like food for the live bacteria, the probiotics, to keep it healthy and create an optimal environment for that colonization in our gut and to stimulate the growth of the good bacteria. So it's very important to have a prebiotic along with your probiotic, since it's like food for it, and the two function hand in hand. And another thing that makes PB Assist really unique is this double layer capsule delivery system. So you can see that it provides that prebiotic fiber in the outer capsule, and then it has a time release inner capsule that contains those active probiotic cultures. So what that means is that it allows the good probiotic bacteria to bypass that harsh acidic environment of the stomach so that they make it all the way into your intestines where we want them and can be released there. So they have the maximum benefit. As far as the strains of friendly bacteria that are present in PB Assist, they were carefully selected based on their demonstrated benefits to both the upper and lower intestines. So specifically, the lactobacillus bacteria promotes colonization and function in the small intestine, where the bifidobacterium promotes digestive and immune function in the large intestines. And this contains 6 billion active CFUs of 6 active strains of both the lacto and bifido cultures. And some people say, oh, well, I could buy one off the shelf that has 30 billion. And I'm like, yeah, if you look at the asterisk and it says at the time of manufacturing, and that's because by the time it makes it off that shelf and actually into your house and into your mouth, and if it even can bypass that acidic stomach environment, you're getting very, very, very little. So even a supplement that says it has 30 billion CFU, you're lucky to even get a billion. I mean, at most, if you're lucky, by the time that you've actually gotten it. With doTERRA, they actually do load it up way more than this, but you are guaranteed 6 billion CFU. And that's why they label it that way, because even if you used it on the last day of the expiration date and let it sit out in the sun, you'd still be receiving the full 6 billion CFU. So their labeling is very honest and transparent, and it is definitely all that you need and more. So I love this product. I take this. They actually have a kids version of the probiotic as well that is delicious. Both my boys love it. Highly, highly, highly recommend. So I could go on and on about that too, but what we want to do is, again, this is about renewing, right? Resetting and renewing our GI health. So, but remember those elimination pathways we talked about earlier. So let's go back to our detox organs, and this is where the real deep cleaning occurs in our body, okay? So you may remember this image from just a little bit ago, but as a quick refresher, we have our liver, our kidneys, and our colon, and those have very powerful detoxification functions. So supporting these organs is extremely important for keeping our body as clear as possible of toxins. Our liver is that metabolic powerhouse that's responsible for processing fats and proteins and carbohydrates and other nutrients into forms that are easier to use by the rest of our body. Then after metabolism in the liver, any waste products must also be eliminated. So solid waste is obviously removed from the colon, as you know what, and other waste is eliminated through the kidneys as urea and other water-soluble waste. So notice, though, that the liver does not have its own outside exit, right? It's reliant on the two primary exits. So to use our bathroom analogy, waste either goes down the drain or out with the trash. And remember those two secondary pathways off to the side, right? The skin and the lungs. So as part of our, necessary body functions of things like eating, breathing, coming into contact with our environment through our skin, our bodies are exposed to numerous toxins and microbial pathogens all the time, all day long, every day. So the largest organ of our body, our skin, has primarily a protective function against toxic exposure and infection. And we know that our lungs help filter the air we breathe from particulates and pollutants. So our body's filtering and waste management system is quite capable of managing a certain amount of exposure to toxic influencers. But in our modern world of environmental pollutions and harmful chemicals that are found virtually everywhere, in our foods and our beauty products and even in treated water, our filtering systems obviously are facing some significant challenges. So just as a filter in a car or a furnace or even a coffee maker can plug up over time, same thing happens with our body's filtering organs. They can become plugged, right, with toxins. And healthy organs have the capacity to kind of self-clean or unplug themselves under normal conditions. But what we're finding is that all of this modern overexposure that we face is leading to buildup of toxicity in these vital organs. So this is where the two Zendocrine products come in. We clean the bathrooms and sweep the chimneys and allow everything to get out of our bodies. So obviously, we can begin supporting healthy cleansing and filtering functions of our organs by limiting our exposure, we talked about, to environmental toxins that we breathe or touch, and by eliminating foods that have harmful chemicals or, that have been treated with pesticides and the like. But in addition to those generally healthy practices, supplementing with functional nutrients that provide targeted support for our livers, kidneys, colons, lungs, and skin can greatly help with those filtering functions that we need. So first up here, we're going to talk about the Zendocrine complex, which is this white container. And this is a combination of whole foods extracts that are going to support healthy cleansing and filtering function of these vital organs. So you can see here, these are the whole food ingredients that are contained within the complex, and you can see specifically the purpose that they serve, for each vital organ. And then, so next, this goes hand in hand. This is not the same product. These are two different products, but it goes hand in hand with these Zendocrine Blend soft gels, which are, this is comprised of essential oils. So this is a ready-to-go soft gel that is intended to support your body's natural detoxification systems and actually cleanse out those free radicals while maximizing the health of our endocrine system. So this has tangerine, rosemary, geranium, juniper berry, and cilantro. So you can see where these individual oils really excel at purifying. And so together, these two products are kind of like peanut butter and jelly, like they act synergistically to activate and renew those elimination pathways. So now we're going to talk about cellular pathways. We're moving on to cleaning out the garage because we know that we probably have some stuff hanging around out in the garage that we don't really think about. We don't live in there. It may not always be at the forefront of our focus, but all that stuff in the garage can accumulate and potentially cause us some problems. So let's clear this out. So let me kind of explain this in a way that hopefully makes sense. Here's a cell, okay? So a normal cell has processes that keep it healthy and allow it to function as it's intended to and as it should. And most healthy cells divide regularly. This is a totally normal process called biogenesis that can take anywhere from several minutes to several months. And of these cells, certain cells have unique functionality. So like if you're talking, our cells have specialized function, which is dependent on the DNA that they're created with. So like liver cells, for example, prepare nutrients for absorption and package toxins for elimination. But kidney cells, on the other hand, kind of filter out toxins by a different pathway. So different pieces of DNA or genes are turned on to carry out these specialized functions. Another important function of cells is to self-destruct or induce apoptosis when no longer needed, and when the DNA can no longer be copied accurately. So apoptosis is like a built-in countdown mechanism so that the cells can self-destruct when they are like too old and no longer work as they should. But what happens is that sometimes that process of apoptosis or biogenesis gets disrupted when the signals to self-destruct or copy itself aren't generated or received properly. And for our body's cells to be healthy, it's important to maintain a balance, right, between biogenesis and apoptosis. That's going to create cellular stasis, that homeostasis. And as you may have guessed, our normal activities, along with environmental stressors, can contribute to a toxic load, which can disrupt the balance in our cells and impact our body's ability to carry out the cycle appropriately. So one primary source that contributes to toxic load are called free radicals. Quite simply, free radicals are like rogue atoms that have gone to the dark side and go around stealing from good atoms. That sets off a destructive chain reaction called oxidation. So we are exposed to these free radicals in a lot of different ways, like sunlight, radiation, pollution, smoking, even stress and sickness. In fact, every single breath we take, 3% of that breath yields free radicals in our body. So this is kind of a chain cycle. And then in addition, our bodies work something like an engine. And we know every engine has exhaust, right, or waste products. So food and oxygen go into our body engine. It creates energy or ATP and byproducts like the exhaust, including free radicals. And so that's what's given off. And even when our energy production is functioning optimally, it's still going to produce free radicals about 10% of the time. So what happens then is over time, the abundance of free radicals, and this is what a lot of us think of as aging. This is what's happening. This essentially is aging because over time, the overabundance of free radicals creates some pretty sizable negative effects at the cellular level of our bodies. One of the ways the cells respond to free radical buildup is inflammation. So oxidation and inflammation just kind of tumble around in this cycle together. And so unfortunately, we know that many of the non-communicable degenerative conditions that seem to be increasingly widespread are the result of unhealthy chronic inflammation in our bodies. And that is why you hear so much talk about antioxidants and why antioxidants are particularly important, especially when it comes to that aging cycle of our bodies. So these are stable molecules that are able to donate electrons without becoming free radicals themselves. So in this way, they're kind of like the superhero that stops that rogue atom in its process of stealing the electrons, and it allows our cells to maintain that natural balance so that they can function as they're intended. So we want lots of antioxidants, right? So we can get antioxidants naturally from certain foods that we eat, especially fruits and vegetables. It's why you're encouraged to eat the colors of the rainbow every single day. And there are many antioxidants made naturally in our bodies, but generally those endogenous antioxidants are shorter in supply and they're used up very quickly in our metabolic processes. So that's why we have to get plenty of external sources of antioxidants. And this is where DDR prime is like the ultimate king superhero, because DDR prime contains a blend of essential oils that promote that healthy response to free radicals while supporting cellular function. So there are 7 essential oils in this blend that were masterfully selected to work together in their ability to provide very powerful and crucial antioxidant benefits to help protect our body from that cycle of oxidation and inflammation and that stress and the aging and the cellular damage that it causes to our body. So by providing the antioxidant effect, DDR prime helps us to maintain that healthy cellular stasis. And so that balance between the biogenesis and apoptosis and in your body's ability to carry it out properly, that's ensuring that all of your cells are functioning properly, that it's promoting a healthy aging process. So this is really, I love DDR Prime. It's something that my husband and I both take every single day as a protective measure. So this, again, is a great product for daily use to add into your daily wellness routine. So, okay. We've talked about throwing open the windows, yanking weeds, planting grass, cleaning out our pantries, our bathrooms, our garages, and all of those processes are improved by a continual hose down, right? So all this is hard work. Don't forget to hydrate. Water is an important part of a healthy body. Not only does it help keep our bodies cool and functioning properly, but it also helps in the process of eliminating waste that's being generated by all of our efforts here. So one way I love to do this is with lemon essential oil. Again, this is a great addition to your daily hydration. It's going to help in the process of digestion and natural cleansing, and it really provides a refreshing, uplifting aroma that helps pep up boring, plain old water. So remember, little tip here, that you ideally want to be drinking half of your body weight in ounces each day. So like, if you are 150 pounds, definitely be aiming for no less than 75 ounces of water a day. And that is something I've noticed that most of us are not getting adequate water intake. That alone can have tremendous positive effects for your body. So make it a goal to get in your half of your body weight in ounces each day, and you will feel phenomenal. I guarantee it. So putting all of this together then, I love, 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 and I'm so excited to share with you guys that doTERRA has put together a brand new kit that offers all of this to you at a significant savings to make it super easy for you to get everything you need to experience that optimal health from the inside out. So this is the brand new, as of October 2016, Cleanse and Restore Kit. So wholesale cost of this is $245, which actually saves you almost $80 off of buying these products at wholesale individually. So essentially, you are getting that lifelong vitality pack for free, an entire month of that second foundational level that everyone should be starting with anyway for at least 1 to 3 months. You're getting that right off the bat, and then it gives you all the tools you need to do a full-on cleansing program for 30 days. So I absolutely was over the moon thrilled when they finally packaged all of this together and made it super, super simple for us. So and one thing I would recommend, if you're wanting to ease into this, definitely start with that foundation of lifelong vitality. Be sure to be drinking lemon essential oil in your water each and every day. And go ahead, and throw on the TerraZyme. Enjoy a TerraZyme before each meal. Those 3 products alone have done a total 180 turnaround for people as far as their health is concerned. And then we want to take it to the next level, right, where we're like peeling back the layers of that onion and getting back to that core. And we do that through the Zendocrine, the Filtering Organs Cleanse products, and the Intestinal Cleanse products. So I'm going to show you now an amazing kit to walk you through this 30-day process, okay? So I like to use this as part of a 30-day program because when we take the right products at the right time and in the right amounts, it's going to optimize our body's ability to reduce, its toxic load and enjoy that overall health and well-being. So this is broken down into 3 steps or phases that we talked about in the beginning. So if you remember, the first phase is activate, right? That's like opening up the windows and letting the fresh air in and getting the gunk out. And this phase lasts for 10 days. So these are the products that you'll take. You want to start off by taking that TerraZyme digestive enzyme. You want to take 1 capsule on an empty stomach in the morning and night, and then 1 capsule with your morning, noon, and evening meals for a total of 5 capsules per day. So I'd say minimum 3. You do want to take a TerraZyme capsule right before you eat your meal. So right before breakfast, right before lunch, right before dinner, because again, you're going to take your TerraZyme and it's going to help like puree and break down those macronutrients that you're putting in your body so that your body's able to derive the nutritional value out of it and absorb it properly. And if you can work in a capsule on an empty stomach in the morning and night, even better. You're doing awesome. So then we want to look at that Zendocrine complex, which was the white bottle, the whole foods-based filtering organ tonic. So that's one capsule with your breakfast and one capsule with your dinner. So that's going to be 2 capsules a day. For your lemon essential oil, you'll want to drink, a drop or 2 of that in 8 ounces of water throughout the day. So you can use up to 10 drops per day of the lemon oil. And again, that's going to help just make sure you're getting enough of the water intake so that you're doing a good hose down and helping your body flush everything out that your body's trying to eliminate. And then you want to use the Zendocrine soft gels, which is the essential oil blend. And so again, you'll take a soft gel with your morning and evening meals for a total of 2 soft gels per day. So that is pretty simple. And then you'll notice at the end that the arrow indicates that you'll continue to take those products into the next phase. The X indicates that you should stop taking the product at the end of this phase. So the soft gels you're actually only going to be using for the first 10 days during the activate phase. Then we move on to the next 10 days, which is reset. So again, you want to continue to take your TerraZyme at least before each meal. You want to continue to take your Zendocrine complex with morning and evening meals, and your lemon essential oil as directed before. But now we add in that GX Assist, that intestinal yanking the weeds cleanse. This is just one soft gel with your evening meal for these 10 days only. I believe the bottle says 1 to 3 capsules of GX Assist, but trust me, this is very powerful stuff. You should only need 1 GX Assist, and I do recommend taking it in the evening for these 10 days. It's very potent, and you will love its ability to help kick out all the GI tract gunk. So the last phase is renew. So again, we're going to continue to take the TerraZyme, ideally empty stomach, morning and evening, but also before each meal. We take our Zendocrine complex with our morning and evening meals. We're having our lemon oil in our water all day long. And then we add in the DDR Prime soft gels. We want to take 1 soft gel with our morning and evening meals for a total of 2 soft gels per day. And then we want to take the PB Assist, that awesome, funky looking pre and probiotic, take 3 capsules with your evening meal to replant all of that good grass once we yank the weeds with the GX Assist. And then on this, you'll notice the arrows on this phase indicate that these are products you can continue to take even after the 30-day program is completed. And that's just going to give you that optimal digestive and overall health and well-being. I take TerraZyme before each meal. Our family takes PB Assist every single evening. We just take 1 as a maintenance basis for every evening. So, and again, the X means you should stop taking this product except if you are addressing specific issues. And again, just work closely with your support person at doTERRA to determine what's right for you. So this is something that you could follow for up to 3 months, depending on your specific needs and how you feel after the first 30 days or the second month. This 30-day cleanse is designed to help you ideally 1 or 2 times a year. You should not need to repeat it more than that. So I love to kind of do a new year cleanse after the holidays to start out to do a cleanse in January. And then I generally do one again in June to kind of kick off the summer, nice and clean and vibrant and healthy. So that's kind of how I do it. If you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to keep track of this? Well, good news again, to give you reminders and encourage you and help you understand the science behind the cleanse and make sure you're staying on track with it. Make sure that you get the Daily Drop app on your phone. You can download Daily Drop from iTunes or the Google Play Store and just select the Spring Cleanse track. And this is going to give you a short video each day, and it will pop up a reminder on your phone too. And it's going to challenge you to keep you on track with each day of the program. So you can also, this is a wonderful app to have. It's free, and it also has essential oil tips for everyday use. This is a wonderful, wonderful free resource that doTERRA makes available to us, and I absolutely love it. So Let me see if I can end my screen here. Oh, where did it go? Where are you guys? All right. So, cool. Looks like we are done. All right. So, if you have any questions about these products, I recommend reaching out to the person who invited you to watch this webinar today, that's supporting you in doTERRA, or you can just go straight to the source. I love that doTERRA has a phenomenal member support, member services program. They have an entire product support team that can always answer all of your questions about any of doTERRA's products. Member services can point you to some amazing information. So I often recommend that people go straight to the source, straight to doTERRA. You can go to doTERRA.com. There's a live chat feature. If you already have a wholesale account and you log in your account, there's a live chat feature. You can call them, you can email them. So they make it super, super easy to get a hold of them and to get you the support. So we are here to answer all of your questions, and would love to walk you through this program as you're seeing the benefits of incorporating it into your life. So thank you for tuning in today. Love sharing some time with you. I'm glad that you could take the time and learn about cleansing today. And I hope that you choose to take that next step and really revitalize your health from the inside out. And I can't wait to hear about all the wonderful results that you'll be experiencing too. So look forward to joining you again in future webinars, and have an awesome day.